Welcome back. Mr. John Oloyede joins us now. He's a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning.
Well, looking at that statement, it started off with saying that the president has ordered an investigation into the allegations of violations of law and due process made against the SGF, and then in the meantime, he's also suspended from office. And then the DG of NIA follows suit. But about this, because many have thought, okay, the DG happens to be the latest one in the eye of the storm about the funds, but the SGF finally suspended because in the Senate there had been that long drawn argument between the executive and the Senate about this. So from your reading, what do you think is going on?
Well, on the way coming, I had a lot of comments by Nigerians over the radio about the fact that Mr. President had suspended the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the NIA Director General. A lot of people expressed happiness, a lot of people expressed hope that, oh, Mr. President is fine. Usually it's about, oh, the anti-corruption war is on course. And of course, the general refrain is, well, the Secretary to the Federal Government ought to have been booted out long before now, but it's better late than never. That is the general opinion out there, that, well, it doesn't matter. Now, you showed Senator Sani, shortly before we came on air, and he was reading out the basis for the Senate asking that the Babachiro should step aside. And he was the one who used the expression that the presidency is fighting corruption properly outside against those who are not within the kitchen cabinet of the executive, but using deodorant to fight corruption in the presidency. Now, my own humble opinion about what has happened between yesterday and today is this. The president is alleged to have set up a committee to be headed by the vice president and the attorney general of the federation and somebody else, three-man committee. We all know as a fact that in Nigeria, committees are set up to cover up lies. There's a lie, and you need a bigger lie to cover it up. Why should a
do you have a proof of that?
Oh, I can give you a plethora of instances where, committee. For instance, let me give you an instance that is in public domain. A committee was set up on the procurement of arms in Nigeria under the past dispensation. That committee, eventually, it has submitted its report. A member has been killed. A naval officer was supposedly killed. A member was in the eye of the storm as somebody who was under investigation by EFCC. Now, what kind of report will that committee? Eventually, that member was suspended because there were allegations of economic crimes against him. Now, that was a committee constituted to take care of a problem. A new committee has been set up. Now, this committee now includes the Attorney General of the Federation and the Vice President of this Federation. First of all, my humble opinion is, why should the Vice President be heading a committee to investigate an allegation of crime against two individuals? Secondly, the Attorney General and even the Presidency authored a response to the allegations by the Senate, giving the Secretary to the Government of the Federation a clean bill of health previously. Now, the clean bill of health was on the basis of a report that was submitted by the Attorney General of the Federation. Now, you now set up a committee. That committee is dead on arrival. It is impaled on the horns of a dilemma. Why? If the committee clears these two persons, you say, oh, what do you expect? There was a report before by the Attorney General of the Federation clearing this man. So you don't expect him to do double speak.
What more can the president do? For instance, the president can only do that much by coming up with a committee headed by the vice president.
Yes.
Do you think he should do something different?
They're definitely totally different. You see, in Nigeria, we set up institutions and decapitate the institutions. what Senator Sani said is playing out. You do not use two different sets of rules to fight corruption. If you suspect that there's an allegation of crime against somebody, or if there's an allegation, not suspect now, against somebody, first and foremost, where did the first report come from? Now that it has become apparent to you, Mr. President, that yes, there is a problem with this particular person or persons, and there are institutions that are presently fighting the war on corruption, EFCC, DSS, police.
Mr. Obond-Ola says this is the first administrative step.
No, what I'm saying is that administrative step should not be in public domain. We should not, it's not our business. The important thing now is you don't say somebody is suspended. Okay, you are suspended. EFCC, do your work.
That should follow immediately.
Immediately. Let them investigate these persons just like they are investigating and charging other people to court. That is the deodorant effect that the man is talking about. Why have two sets of rules for the same kind of crimes? If you suspect that, okay, there is some proof that something untoward has been done and is an infraction of the law, the proper procedure is not to set up a committee that is dead on arrival. It's ultra vires. Nothing good can come out of it. The reasonable man on the street, which is our standard in law, will always say, if the Attorney General says, this man is clear, of course, that was what you said before. And why should he be a member of that panel? Because you already cleared him. If he says, this man is guilty as charged, then they say, so where did you get your first report? Why didn't you do a thorough investigation? The chief law officer involved in doublespeak, that is untoward.
Mark,
well, there are two issues that immediately pop up, because the first one, some people might argue that what the president had sent to the Senate through the Attorney General was that Mr. Babachir wasn't given a fair hearing, which might not amount to clearing him. But that's on the one hand. On the other hand, some people might also argue that this committee might be looking at this because the DGNIA is involved, and if there are security issues that cannot be, certain levels of clearance need to be given, perhaps the only clearance necessary might be at the level of the vice president or the president himself. And perhaps that's why this committee was set up. Would that hold water for you?
Personally, it still wouldn't hold water for me. My contention, simply put, is this. There are established institutions known to our law that are already... Yes, people might be complaining. On my way here, I was reading Mr. Femi Falana saying that EFCC has been able to secure 200 convictions, and the government has spent maybe less than £2 million in over these years to finance prosecution of cases against accused persons brought to court by EFCC, and that if government will spend more